She fooled me twice and it's all my fault. She got too deep, now she left me scored. Now there's so many thoughts going through my brain. Now I'm taking these shots like it's Novocaine. I fall apart. Down to your room, I fall apart. Down to my core. Didn't know it before. Surprised when you cut me off guard. On this I'm truly I bought. You was my shorty, I taking these shots like it's Novocaine. Feeling this hard, harder than the liquor I pour. Tell me you don't want me no more. I fall apart. Time is everybody told me so. I'm feeling like I sold my soul. Devil in a form of a whore. Devil in a form of a whore. You said it. Now you said it. You said it. We'll be together. I fall apart. I fall apart. Eyes keep pouring and the drink keep flowing. Try to brush it off, but it keep on going. Covered scars and I can't
All right. Thank you very much.
Whipping in the forehead and the tears keep blowing. Eyes keep the drink keep flowing. Try to brush it.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's Get It Right. Of course, it's a program that demystifies business and professional concepts so that you are able to understand and apply them, so that you can progress in your career, so that you can progress in your business. And the program tonight has a very good presenter and is going to walk us through the issue of being average, which is killing careers and business. The issue of good enough, which is not good. We need to be progressing, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to introduce myself. I am Richard Magoma. Of course, most of you know me as Richard Magoma. And I'm going to moderate today's session. Let me read some of the sponsors of this particular wonderful program. In the meantime, you can tell me or you can tell us how your day was. Tell us how your day was. Tell us how your day was and what do you expect some of the things that Mr. Waweru will touch on. How was your day today? How was your day? How was your day? How was your day? You can tell us how was your day. Angela Kaguruki, you can tell us. Brenda Weyombo, you can tell us how your day. Bridget, Cynthia, Damaris, Kenyanjui, Deb, Dedan, Mariah. Dorothy, how was your day? Elizabeth, how was your day today? Was it good? Then we have Faith Okema. We have Elizabeth. How was your day? Faith has said that her day was busy but fruitful. Joseph Obuya, how was your day? Habat Zake, how are you, Bana? How are you? How is Kampala? How was your day? Catherine Frazier, how are you? We have Kevin Kipchoge, how was your day? Lilian Mbuthia, how was your day? Then we have Losh Okach, how was your day? Margaret Karanja, Monica Odindo, how was your day? Njeru, Monica Odindo, how was your day? That's how your day was. Noah H, how was your day? Scholar Shadrach, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to tell you who are some of the partners to this wonderful program that is going to, it is 7th year. That is a wonderful feat. We have Panessa Training Institute that trains people on how to make those wonderful seats that you have in the house, beds, and related furnitures in the house. Then we have K2 Squared, which is in Rwanda. It does a lot of career management. It does a lot of training. It does a lot of outsourcing as well in Rwanda. If you want to do HR work in Rwanda, K2 Squared Career Center are the people to talk to. Then when you are in Nyanyuki, or when you drop in Nyanyuki, you have got to go to one fantastic and spectacular place called Tufa Resort, where you will learn to use your money well. Maybe when we go beyond being average, we'll go there. Then we have our good friend's organization, where is the team lead, that is Steadfast Quality Solutions. Herbert Sake is the team lead of this organization. He has trained professionals on how to know their strengths, So if you want to mine, if you want to dive deep into your strengths, Herbert Sake is your person to talk to. Then we have Lymph and Pelvic Care Kenya Limited. Of course, they are medical professionals. So if you want to check how your lymph is working, those are the people to talk to. Tonight, we have Mr. Waweru Martin Jr. He's a very good friend of mine. He's going to tell us how we should overcome that problem of being average, that problem saying that you are good enough. So many careers have been stalled. So many businesses have been stalled because of that problem of good enough, or the problem of averages. Good evening to you, Martin. I'm sure you're going to do a wonderful job of introducing yourself. How are you, sir?
Very good evening. Good to see you, Richard, and to everybody who is online. Happy to be here. I'm doing excellently. I am amazing, and I'm looking forward to a very, very exciting evening. Asante sana, Richie. I'm here to delve into this topic and see how far we go. Asante.
Thank you. Karibu.
Oh, you want me to go on? So
yes, twende kazi. Twende kazi.
Excellent. Mimi nilikuwa nangoja ile makofi ya Nyayo.
Oh, makofi ya Nyayo. Pigeni makofi ya Nyayo.
Sasa hujafika. I was wondering, Bwana, what is it? You cannot give that kind of a cold welcome. Thank you.
All right.
I'm happy to be here and to see all of us this evening. I'm a HR professional, leading a business called Optiven Group. It's a group of companies. We do real estate. We are the leading brand in Africa for real estate. If you want land, if you want to buy and build, that is what we do. We settle Kenyans. That's our business. That's our core mandate. So when you say me writing, I love Optiven, it is true. I love Optiven. I've been there for the last 11 years, working there. I'm the HR director. I'm in charge of human resources. I'm in charge of administration. I'm in charge of logistics. I'm in charge of the Optiven Foundation. Interestingly, you'll be shocked. I'm in charge of the ICT department and infrastructure. So I oversee 5 core departments in Optiven, and I'm happy to be here. Away from that, I do impactful conversations. I do talks. I do motivational talks. I call it as it is. We call them the undoctored truths. That is what I call it. I'd call you off for mediocrity. I am an enemy of mediocrity. Okay. I am an enemy of being told something we grew up being told in school. If you remember, when we were growing up, ukipata marks fulani, there was a comment the teachers would do on top of your sheet. They would say fair. You know, fair means you are there. You're not good, you're not bad. I cannot fail you this exam, but I cannot again applaud you so much for what you've done. You're not outstanding. You're not extraordinary. You're not unique. There's nothing special about you. And that is why you are average. So you'd see a comment pale kwa hesabu. Remember mathematics? Yeah, average. Because you scored a 50% or a 52% somewhere.
Martin,
and then the teacher would give you an average.
We have people from Uganda, we have people from TZ, they may not sometimes take in our sharing.
Okay, I'll try. I divulge a lot. But real talk, I divulge a lot, but I'll try. I'll try to stay English because I understand English. But ideally, what I'm saying this evening is that we have grown up in a system that categorized us from a very young upbringing that average is normal. That being average is very kawaida, it's very usual. That it is okay for you to simply go do your best. And we were told that even when we were leaving home going to school. So what that did, it got into your head and somehow set a capping in your brain that limits how you see life and introduces the element of as long as I am trying, then I am not so bad. As long as I am getting by the day, then I am not so bad. You have normalized, and we have normalized as human beings, to create a cocoon around us that allows you to stay in something we call a safe space. So this evening, allow me to delve into the topic for the day: why average and why good is not good enough, why you're not shining maybe in your career, and you as a HR practitioner, maybe how you are an enabler of these characters, how you are an enabler of poor performance, and you tolerate it, and you have allowed it, and it has crept into your business, into your culture, into your offices. And HR bears the brunt of it because, again, we are the gatekeepers of excellence. HR is supposed to be the gatekeeper of excellence. You're the gatekeepers of performance. You're the gatekeepers of delivering KPIs. But ours ends at we have developed KPIs. We have uploaded them in a HR system if you have one. If not, they are somewhere filed manually. These guys have them on some funny papers or files, and they have kept them somewhere, but they do not follow them. They do not do it. Every quarter, every half year, every end year, you are busy as a HR doing performance appraisals that are treated like an emergency or a punishment. But because you need to tick a box somewhere, and you'll forgive me, I am normally very blunt. Very blunt. I do not sugarcoat things. I call them as they are. You're there ticking boxes because, again, on your KPIs, performance appraisals are there. But you're not managing performance. You're simply ticking a box. You're not managing performance. You're not actively watching what these people are supposed to be doing. I am in a very competitive field, extremely competitive. I deal with numbers, data. I have a workforce of about 700 employees. And out of them, over 400 are in sales. These are salespeople. They are selling property in Malindi, in Vipingo, in Nanyuki, in Kimuka, in Juja. They're selling land. I have no room to wriggle around what you promised you can deliver during the interview. If you come and this is your position, and this is where we have agreed, this is your job, this is your JD, this is your KPIs, this is the target that you have for a month. I really have a lot of keenness when it comes to what you're bringing in versus what you promised you can bring in. And that has enabled Optiven to soar to the heights that you see it soaring, to the levels you see it today. From a small brand to 28 years of transformation and greatness. Why? Because performance. There's the human element in it, yes, but business is business, and we call it as it is. Richard, I don't know whether I have rights to share the slides, and I can share something briefly, and then we call it an evening. So let me try share. Good. If you see it, you tell me you can see it, Richard.
Yeah. We can see you.
You can see the slide, or you can see me.
Okay, we can see you on the slides. You put it on presentation mode. Okay.
I am working on it. I am there. I am fighting it. Are we good now?
Very good.
Excellent. So, allow me to talk about this guy called average, the enemy called average. I based this conversation on a topic or a book written by John L. Mason. It is called An Enemy Called Average. And the greatest waste in the world is the difference between what we are and what we could become. There has been a lot of analogies and conversations around the fact that maybe in the graves lies the best brain. It has been said over and over again. It has been argued that in the graves, we have the best brains. We have the best people. Why? Because they died without having achieved their full potential. They died without having realized what is it they could become. And now we are the ones alive today. In a few years, I don't know how many God will give us. We are not dying young, of course. But imagine when you're 90, 95, 100, and you have gone to be with Father Abraham, what will you be remembered for? How will you be remembered? Both in your career, both in your family, and also in your personal life. So what I do, I manage people, I do growth, and I do execution. Now, average is not a person, it is a standard, it is a level. You know, like in Kenya, we have something called the Kenya Bureau of Standards. We know the KBS. KEBS regulates what quality we get in our consumption of items, of different things. What would happen, imagine today, if KEBS dropped the baseline for what qualifies as good sugar, for what qualifies as good soda, for what qualifies as maybe a good product that you regularly use in your house. And that is why in every product that you buy, you see a sticker written there for Kenya Bureau of Standards. Their work is to ensure that this thing is fit for human consumption, or it is not likely to cause harm upon consumption, whether it is an electronic gadget, whether it is something you consume or you drink. Where does the danger begin? The danger begins when you normalize a low standard or below standard, when it is accepted, when it is repeated, and there's no consequence whatsoever. That is where average begins. So average is not in the human being. It is in what you accept in your organization. You have set KPIs. You have agreed on in the organization, this is the strategy we have for 2026. This is where the business is going. This is our mission. This is our motto. Even in your family, because I'm addressing family people too, I am sure. Even in your family, it is the standards that you have set. You have a baseline. Baseline is the minimum. This is the minimum accepted standard that these people should have, or this organization should have, or my family should have. But if you allow for any given point for that standard to fall below, then you are already encouraging average. Let me say that success is not a destination, it is a direction. That is what John L. Mason says. If you read that book, what you permit within your organization, what you permit within your life, determines whether you are average or above average. Determines whether you are kawaida, that is normal, or you become extraordinary. The permissions you give, have you seen the devices are permissions it will tell you to give for specific functions? It will go to the app and tell you, give this permission to access this, give permission to access this, give permission to this. That device of yours is going to perform based on the permissions you have granted it. So personally, I believe that today, where you are, what you are doing, how you are doing is a direct replication of the permissions you have granted your life and the people around you. How you are today, how unhappy you are, even in your marriage or in your life or wherever you are, it is because of the permissions you have given. How your workplace looks like today, it is because of the permissions that have been given. It is because of this below the standard, repeated, accepted, little consequence, then it becomes a what? A new normal, which forms the new baseline. I want to give you 10 forms, examples, basics of what we tolerate at work. Minimum effort. You know, I did what I was told. These are the KPIs. I did what I was told. Busy but not productive. Calendar full, but I tell people, and this one, I know, Richard, you will steal this one. I will see it from you. There is a difference between end of day and close of business. Underline that one. There is a very big difference between end of day and close of business. End of day means I came, I saw, and I left. I attended work. I was there. I was told, what time are you supposed to report? 8 a.m. I reported. I wiggled around the office, made a lot of noise. For those who do not understand, it is yapping. You gossiped with everybody. You said hi to the whole company, you know, because the community you come from allows for greetings. So, you know, greetings are from God and they are not deniable. So you greeted everybody, walked around, and you are looked very busy. That is end of day. But now there is close of business. Close of business means you came in, had an agenda. You had 5 things you needed to attend to. You had what we call eating the 5 frogs first. You had your 5 frogs. You fed on them, you feasted on them, you finished. At the end of the day, there is this outcome. Slow execution. I was telling Richard Druzy that vision without execution is mere hallucination. You have very good vision, very good works that you want to achieve, very good targets, very good KPIs. If I came to your HR department for an audit, I'll find a very structured team. I'll find excellent KPIs. Everybody knows what they're supposed to. No, not everybody knows. Everybody has a list of what they are supposed to be doing. You have mapped out even the performance metrics. The OKRs are excellent. But the execution is a problem. You have a policy document in place, but the execution is a problem. That everything needs chasing. Everything. Even when they are not supposed to be emergencies, you create workplace emergencies. Then weak ownership. This is not my job. And I think this one becomes one of our biggest enemies in tolerated averages, where nobody is really taking ownership. When there is failure, you blame somebody else. You blame the other department. You blame the team leader. You blame the CEO. You blame the economy. You blame the government. You always have somebody who you point a finger towards, because that is not my job. Me, I did my part. Then, of course, repeated mistakes. And you have allowed repeated mistakes and normalized apologies. I make a mistake, I apologize, we move on. Like, life is normal as long as I apologize. Then, of course, low initiative. You're an individual in the department, but unless you are assigned work by your boss, you have nothing to do. You do not know, you come to work without a to-do list. You have people who attend work in the morning without any agenda. They are literally waiting for permission to think. They can't think on their own. They have to be triggered. They have to be compelled to think. Then, of course, soft accountability. We discuss and we do very long meetings. We come up with very good strategy documents, but nobody is there to enforce. Nobody is there to enforce. The documents sit gathering dust all over the place. Then, of course, customer indifference. huyo anakuanga hivyo. Customers are like that. Customers must complain. Customers must. I mean, there are places you enter today and you wonder what kind of customer experience they offer. They frustrate you. Have you, there's one that annoys me. I don't know whether it annoys you. For me, it personally annoys me. You are in a supermarket, you are queuing, everybody has like trolleys full of stuff, and then you're moving, the queue is moving. Then for some reason, an error occurs with one of the tellers, and they need the password to come. They need the guy with the password to come deliver the password. So what do? They stop working, then they shout, password. My friend, you wait for the password. The person with the password is on the other end of the hall, and they come entering majestically. They walk in, trotting, like they are carrying the whole universe on their shoulder, like they are demigods. The password in a supermarket is like the key to central bank. You know, they walk in majestic. You should see how they walk. Sasa now Magoma has prevented me from using Sheng. I am telling you, the way they walk in there is just catastrophic. They have normalized it. It is usual. It is okay. And they don't care. They don't care. Nobody cares. They'll come, serve you, and they go. Why? Because complaints from customers are normal. And of course, comfort with old ways. Do you know that statement of, this is how it is done here? This is how we work here. This is how it is done. By the way, you know, imagine you can't teach me anything new. And that is why you guys are fighting with the Gen Zs. Especially if you are a millennial. If you are a millennial fighting with the Gen Zs, because this is how it is always done, and they're wondering, why should they be done that way? Why should they be done that way? In this era, why must we follow this long bureaucratic process while we can actually have a direct route towards the quickest and the fastest wins as possible? And that is why you're fighting with them, because they find you retarded. Sorry, I told you I speak the truth. They find you retarded. They find you old. They find you archaic and rusty. So what have I done personally? The HR unit, leave alone now logistics, administration, and all that. The HR unit that I lead has 11 staff, 11 HRs under me. Out of the 11, 5 of them are below 30 years. 5 of them are below 30 years. I did that intentionally because I realized unless I introduce these young people into the processes of HR, unless I bring new blood that sees things differently, my friend, I'm going to remain a cake there. I am going to remain on paper. I'm going to remain tired every day. These guys have brought AI. These guys have brought things that I could not have done alone. And it is okay to admit that there is a new breed that is coming in and they are better than us. Hello. They might be stubborn if you think, but we raised them. We created them. It is their season now. It is their era. They are here to reign. And there is nothing we can do because we are growing old. So very soon, in another 20 years, utakuwa unauliza who is in the work, who is the CEO of a certain place, who is the MD, it is this to Gen Zs. They are the ones who are going to take over those seats, whether we like it or not. So the best we can do is mentor them and accept them, mold them and guide them. But this thing, kwanza old school, we have the gatekeepers of every company. And HR becomes one of the biggest gatekeepers. Eh? That is why all you do is monitor dress code. Correct? You monitor dress code, you monitor the length of skirts and how high they are and how tight they are. You are busy chasing colors of the clothes they are supposed to wear. You are busy chasing attendants and who is doing what. You are busy there chasing nonsensical issues that have no relevance whatsoever with the business performance. Whatsoever. Absolutely zero work. So you're telling a Gen Z, why are you wearing baggy things? I have daughters that are that age. Sometimes they wear things, I look at them and I'm like, this one can be worn by your mother or myself. It is too big for you. They're like that. This is a fashion and this is what I want to feel like. So what do I do? Walk away. I'm not the one wearing it. What's my problem there? It is your body. As long as you're not walking naked and looking funny. If you want to wear oversized clothes, wear them. They want flexi. Hello. They want flexi. Give them flexi where possible. Not everywhere. Of course, I know here we are a total representation of very many industries. I know that. So I am conscious and awake to the fact that there are positions and there are roles and there are businesses where flexi is not possible. But where possible, give them flexi. These digital guys, allow them to work from home. You support them, they will work. And then, of course, high potential underuse. I think that is the same thing that we are talking about. You have very good people within your organizations, but you have given them very small problems. You've given them very small challenges. I will give you one quote. It will challenge your brain. Your problem is your promotion. The better you are at solving problems, the faster you will get promoted, the faster you will grow, the faster you will rise. As HRs here, are you a problem solver or are you the vacuum cleaner? You know what you mean by vacuum cleaner? When everybody has problems, they throw them to you, and all you do and think is how to follow the disciplinary process. That is the only thing you think. You cannot identify where the core problem is, so all you think is punishment. All you think is policy. You are so rigid on policy. This is how we handle this one. You cannot think outside the box and see, why is this one becoming a recurrent problem for us? Why is attendance a problem? That tells you there is something that you need to work a magic. You need to think, you need to figure it out. You need to change the policy. You need to ask yourself, so why are people coming late to work every single day? What is this? Maybe they have lost motivation. They have lost energy. They have lost drive. They have lost purpose. They do not feel engaged. They do not feel hard. But you are there. You came too late, punishment. Punishment. At the end of the day, you're going to have a very rebellious workforce. You will change nothing. They will come to work early and they will not work at the end of the day. And because you've tolerated it, comes a standard. Let me tell you, you will not know that average has come in. No, you won't. You won't see it. It uses very good words. Okay? It says at least the report came. This is how we do it. You know, can you see that quote that I've put there? Familiarity beats improvement. You know, like naturally, you are created for safe spaces. Nobody likes being unsafe. That is why you have refused to move even from the estate you live in. Do you know that? You're rigid. You can't change where you live. Even if it means you put on electricity during the day, you have to put on lights because natural light for you is a luxury. You only see light when you get out. But you can't move that apartment. You can't change it. You see, there is a mamamboga downstairs. There's a guy who makes mandazi using transformer oil. It jumps up on your clothes. You come to work always smelling like a bakery, and you don't care. You're okay. You're rigid there because of familiarity. Familiarity. You're content being there. And you go for water from 7th floor, okay? You go for water from 7th floor to downstairs because the water cannot climb. Read my English. The water cannot climb to 7th floor. So you have to go with these yellow mitungis, these yellow jerry cans to fetch water downstairs every day. And you say, but it helps me keep fit. It helps me keep fit. It is my gym. I don't need the gym. I only need to carry 5 jerry cans upstairs every day. That is mediocrity. That is mediocrity. My laptop is about to die. So allow me, and I can't see my support system. I don't know where they are. I need to get my charger. Please, I'm very sorry about it, but give me 2 seconds. I bring my charger. 2 seconds, kindly. 2 seconds, 2 seconds. Don't go anywhere. 2 seconds, kindly.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard, as we wait for Martin to bring his charger, you've been told that there are certain things that we love, but at the end of the day, they tire down completely. We remain in the same jobs forever. We live in the same estate forever. We live in the same organization forever when we could do more. So we are being challenged Yes, Lilian, Bira, you are quite right that we are having somebody who is revealing certain things to us that they may not be very comfortable, that is for sure. And again, we are told that if you embrace too much comfort zones, you will not progress. Over to you again, Martin.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience. Asanteni sana. I'm sorry about that. But I am back. Now we are good. So I was saying familiarity beats improvement. Then there's something else is, you know how you do performance appraisals and management and conversations in the boardroom? If you have access to the boardroom, that is, if you are able to sit in the C-suite, one of the reasons, guys, can I challenge you? One of the reasons why CEOs are leaving us out of the C-suite is because we do not take solutions to them. Sawa? We take to them labor laws. Hello? You take to your CEO labor laws. That is the only thing he hears from you. You cannot fire this person because of 1, 2, 3. If we want to do a redundancy, this is the process. If we want to change the salaries, this is what we do. All you take is, by the way, there is a new bill of the minimum wage, and this is how that is the only thing you take. So every time your CEO hears from you, it is a demand for action, for money, for something, but never an improvement of process. No, never an improvement of an activity, never a productive function that can actually make the business more money. You don't propose those ones. So what they do, they leave you out of the C-suite. That is why some of you, sorry, I don't know who you're reporting to. Maybe you're reporting to the CFO or the COO. You're somewhere. You're somewhere. The HR function reports to finance. Ridiculous. Why? Because they don't see your value too much. Because of this, he's trying. You know, effort replaces our could give her time. We cannot lose them. You know, fear protects performance. Hire slowly, fire quickly. That is hire slowly, but fire quickly, because mediocrity is the biggest enemy of any organization. The problem is not one excuse. It is when you turn the operating system into a myriad of excuses. Excuses, excuses, excuses. You have lost direction. You have no understanding of where it is that you're going. It hurts, but it is a painful truth. So how do you turn average into culture? Small compromises that to you are harmless. They become harmless initially, they are repeated, and either you reward them or ignore them, and you lose it. So you start with a small gap, a standard is lost. Do you know why we have killer brews? Killer alcohol. You know, these ones that are destroying our youth. Where I live, there's like a small bar that opened up recently. I leave home at 4:30 a.m. I'm in the office by 5:20 a.m. every day. I find young men, capable men, there drinking cheap liquor. They have border borders. You can see the border borders are parked there. If this young person carries you or gives you a ride on that motorbike, you become automatically drunk from their breath. It is the one that you smell on the bakangas, on your messengers in the office. You know, it started as a small thing. That alcohol started as a small thing in Kenya, whereby the Kariobangi distillers were allowed to penetrate in the industry. Today, it is a chronic problem in our nation. I am sure if I was to open up this chat and tell you, how many alcoholics do you know personally, either as your brother, your sister, your father, your uncle? All of us have somebody who is currently struggling with that cheap liquor because the small gap, the standard was missed, and now we thought it was harmless. Today, it has become a chronic national problem. It is actually an epidemic. That is how problems begin even in the organization. Nobody addresses it. It's repeated. It is normalized. the bar goes down. So see down there, tolerated average, repeated average, cultural average. You cannot have a better tomorrow if you're constantly thinking about yesterday all the time. Point is, today, what are you tolerating in your companies? That lateness, that missed report, that missed target, it becomes very chronic. And then what happens that has become a problem to me, and I have seen it even in my organization, is you become very personally attached to some of these people. Yeah, you feel like you owe them some level of allegiance, maybe because they have worked for the organization longer. So what are you doing? You are rewarding loyalty with mediocrity. You are rewarding length of service with poor outcome. Why? They were there when the business was struggling. These are the guys who helped us pull through COVID. And now because they have known, what do they do? They become complacent. And you are the chairman of complacency. You're the chairman of sitting in the boardroom and are like, we give them time. They will adjust. It is a season. They are going through a hard time. I am not refusing that you introduce ER and humanity in your processes. I am not against that. Right now, I know you think I am very rough. I know some of my team members are here, but they will tell you I am completely different. But I understand where we draw the line. The problem with us is that we become social too much. You know, when you allow socials to come in a lot, when you allow socials, you know what socials are? When you become too social in an organization, you lose the business acumen. You lose the element of excellence in your business. As a manager, as a HR, you could be the manufacturer of average in these three ways: non, silence, rescue, inconsistency. Have you ever found yourself being like, me, I don't want issues with this person. I don't want drama. Let them just, I don't want their drama. I don't. Then another one is like, when you are, even your team members make a mistake, you rescue them. You do it for them. Me, I have a policy. Yeah. By the time you're bringing a document to me for my signature, you have run it through from your colleagues there, from your peers, and they have helped you beat that document. By the time it is coming, because I will not show you where the error is, you'll go look for it on your own. Go find it. But I cannot do your job. There are things you must rise above and refuse to do as a person. You must allow your employees to grow. You must give them platforms. You must expose them. Then, of course, inconsistency. Inconsistency happens when the socials come in. When the socials come in, inconsistency happens. Why? Because there is one person you maybe don't like too much. HR, so you know yourself. There's a guy you don't like. There's a lady you don't like. For some reason, known best to you, which I do not understand why you don't like people or hate people in an organization. It is not your business. They are not your children. They are not your parents. They are not your brothers and sisters. They are not your spouses. What is wrong with you? Why are you hating people? These are your colleagues. You can choose friends, but you cannot choose colleagues. So leave the hate and all the favorism and the bias. Maybe this is my kinsman. This is my tribesman. This was my schoolmate. So those ones, they get a lot of leeway. The leash is longer, but then there are those you hold accountable. That inconsistency creates average in the organization. A leader's tolerance becomes a team's permission. Do you know people will treat you the way you allow them to treat you over time? Have you wondered why maybe you are a HR but nobody respects you? You expect people to be respect you. They can say anything in front of you. They can blurt out any word in front of you. Why? And you think it is cool. And then they keep saying, hey, by the HR Fulani is friendly, is nice. But if you ask them exactly what it means to be nice, it is because they can walk all over you. They can lie to you and tell you, but me, today I woke up with a stomachache. Can you tolerate it? You woke up today, I am not able to perform my duties. You tolerate their poor performance. That month was hard. Customers were the ones I had dropped. They dropped. You should have picked them up. Dropped where? Stop giving permissions that will come eat you up. The permissions you give are the ones that are going to become of bad consequence to your life. And I am applying this one even to your family, to your children, to your spouses. The permissions you give, they will treat you the way you want. They will treat you the way you handle them. They will treat you the way you allow them. They will throw tantrums. Have you ever seen those kids who throw tantrums in a supermarket? And they have refused they take 5 lollipops and they want all of them. Or there is another one I don't buy. I have children, but I cannot buy for them Kinder Joy. That kind of thing is useless. Boy. It is expensive for nothing. But you have a kid who is all over the supermarket crying and shouting and screaming because they want the Kinder Joy. It is the permissions you gave. Buana, catch that thing and squeeze the juice out of them. Squeeze the life out of them. Go beating them like they are. Wait. Don't joke. The permissions you allow, the moment you tolerate them, they will destroy you. Your organization, the teams that you lead, the moment you allow certain, I think they can play with you, there's a level you can engage at. You go to a boardroom meeting to make excuses. If I ask you for a report and I have set the standard for the report, I want that report in that standard. I will not do it for you. I will not polish it for you. I won't. I will not polish it for you. You go fix it until it is done in the format that we agreed. You will repeat it. You will stay there late until it is done. Once it is done, you'll never make that error again. But you're not going to bring it to me to come and fix it for you. My friend, we don't share a salary. Hey, do your job. I do mine. I have my level. This is your target. You told me you can bring in 10 million shillings at the end of the month. Hey. So why are you at 1 million? I'll give you grace for some time. But once that grace expires, my friend, it was good knowing you. All right? It was good knowing you. Unfortunately, this is business. Go in peace. Jesus loves us all. And we meet again outside there. Because here we are colleagues. If we meet outside, we might say hi, if we ever became friends. But you must learn to distinguish between what you tolerate as excellence or what you tolerate as mediocrity. Mediocrity kills you slowly. Mediocrity kills the business. It suffocates you. Personally, I see mediocrity as carbon monoxide poisoning. That is how I see it. Carbon monoxide poisoning does not kill you instantly. No. In fact, it lures you slowly. Slowly, you enjoy the warmth, you enjoy, you faint a little bit, you become drowsy, groggy, poof, you die slowly. That is how I see mediocrity. That is how I see average. And that is what it is for. You allow it slowly. It creates a complacency. It sneaks in. Inconsistency. It slips in. You're used to rescuing the team. It slips in. And it destroys you. Ultimately, you find yourself not able to progress. Average does not stay average. It is spread. It is a cancer. We started with a green, excellent. We went to strong. We became average. Then the bar moves lower and it becomes extremely poor. That is how it starts. We all like safety, where now excellence becomes extra. What you're supposed to do, we applaud you so loudly because of what you are supposed to do. My friend, that was your job. That was the mandate. You must create a notion in the minds of the people you work with, of the organization, of the culture, of the strategy, that excellence is the standard. It is not the extra. Doing what you're supposed to do is not going up and above and beyond. No, that is the minimum threshold. That is the minimum. That is the bare minimum. At the least, you're supposed to be excellent. At the least, you're supposed to be excellent. At the least. Then from there, you can go to excessively excellent. You can go to exceptional. You can go to outstanding. You can go to extraordinary. That is where we introduce the extra. But we have made average so safe that your output is working. I can tell you, can I challenge you? The money you are making is a reflection of how you value yourself. Sorry, told you I'll step on your toes. The money you are making right now tells me who you are. If I was to rate you today and ask you on a month, how much money do you make? Imagine that is your value. Why? Because you have accepted it. You've tolerated it. You will tell me my organization, my company, do they own your brain? Do they own your brain? Now, think differently about yourself. Think differently about what you can do to grow yourself and improve yourself. Can I tell you a statement I tell people and they get angry? Nobody owes you success. And nobody is coming to rescue you. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to save your family. It doesn't matter what you think. Nobody. And there is no day you're going to be walking on the road. Yeah? Walking on the road by coincidence, and the truck, the G4S lorry carrying money, has an accident in front of you and all the money falls and you collect it and you become an instant millionaire. No way, it's not going to happen. And there is no day an error is going to happen in the bank and they transfer 10 billion to you as they were transferring it from SHA. It can't happen. It will not happen. So those miracles you're waiting for to come save you, they will not happen. So it is you and your God and how you value yourself and how you see yourself. You are a reflection of your mindset. I told you, you think you are good, you become good. You think you are great, you become great. You become average, you tolerate it, you allow yourself. You are like that boiled, you know how you boil a frog, the story of boiling the frog, how you cook a frog. We all know the story of cooking a frog. A frog is cooked in cold water first. You put it in cold water because that is its environment. Then you warm it, it swims, it relaxes, it enjoys. Before it realizes it is boiled and cooked. Now the world and the environment you are in is your water. If you allow it to boil, bro, your marriage will boil. Your family will boil. Your children will boil. You enter a house, your kids can't even greet you. They can't even come to say hi to you. Yeah? If they were playing, they don't even see that you have entered the house and you're the man of the house. You are not the man of the house, bro. They are the men of the house. Those tiny terrorists you are raising there in your house, Bwana, they are controlling you. They are tiny terrorists. How do I enter my house and my kids are jumping all over the sofa set and I am there? I have entered the door and they can't stop. Bwana, you'll sleep outside. It is my house with you, with your mother, not your house. You wait and go build yours where you can be jumping all over and screaming and doing all the crazy things. Right now I'm in my house, but you can't see my children. And there's no way I'm looking for money and business for them and they are here yapping. Where? I'll kill everything. I'll kill every TV. I'll kill every radio. I'll switch off lights. And you call me a dictator. That's your problem. But there is no way. What you permit is how they treat you. What you permit is how they will handle you. Even in your workplace. What happens to high performance? They compensate. They become frustrated. And they ask, why am I carrying this? Because you push the burden to the good ones. They keep closing bags. They do extra. They lose energy. And they look for elsewhere. And that is why you have had consistently. People do not leave organizations. They leave bad bosses. They leave bad culture. They leave being used, in quotes. The best people should not have to work around the system. Do you understand what I mean? They should not be carrying the burden for the weak. You know the way we kept being challenged when we were in high school? You could have been an A student, but they kept telling us, the poor ones, the ones who got D+ and D- and everything, they pulled our grade down. Even on your life, on your certificate today, if I asked you for your certificate for Form 4, you will notice that maybe you got A, B, C, C, D, 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 and then you got E, E, E. The grade fell. Why? Because the poor areas pulled down the good one. And that is exactly what happens to high performance in your organization. So even the stars, even the epic ones, they get tired, they get exhausted because you push all the load on them. So they carry themselves and they carry the weak people. who you have tolerated. They carry the average people, and you allow it and you continue with it. So average is expensive. It takes your time. It consumes quality. It chases away customers. It reduces revenue. And of course, you become a firefighting department in leadership. Average consumes capacity in an organization. Average is an enemy. It destroys relationships. It destroys the quality of work. It consumes more time. It reduces the revenue of the business. When you're busy tolerating somebody who is bringing in 10% of their target, who is making up for the 90? And you expect to pay them at the end of the day. So average is very, very expensive. It kills innovation. You do not want people to bring new ideas. Average kills innovation. It destroys innovation. You bring in, have you ever seen how stubborn you are if a new system is introduced in your organization, including you HR? If today your CEO says we are going the AI way, how fast are you to adapt? And they say, you need to have an AI certificate in the next 3 months. You start rebelling. Why? Because you do not want the change. You start complaining. You start sabotaging that system. And then you start to, we have always done it this way. Do you see that space between good idea and safe culture? That is where innovation dies. It's a good idea, and but there is a culture of safety. We don't want to try too much. What if we try and it gets bad? What if we try and it gets ruined? What if we try and it gets, you know, you do not want to try. You do not want to experiment. You do not want to try out new things. You are rigid. Why? Because you are average. Because a new system requires you to learn new things. A new process requires you to learn. A new machine, a new device, a new gadget, whatever you introduce in the business to help you work better, it requires you to go back to learning and understanding it. And naturally, we hate learning. Naturally. So what do? You resist. And it kills innovation. The market does not reward comfort. It doesn't. When you are in comfort zone, the competitor is waiting for you. They have something we call competitive advantage. They have standards that are high. They have high speed. They have high customer, and they are very good in innovation. And you are still explaining why yesterday's standard is acceptable. You are still living. Have you ever had people, when I had money, I used to. Have you had those people? I don't know whether you've seen those people. In my days, hey, me, I used to. I was bad. I was monoma. When I was your age, me, I had money. Where is it now? That is the same mistake you're making right now, my guy. Do you remember that uncle who used to come visit you in Ushago, in the village, and they looked rich? That is you, this uncle now. And the village boys are admiring you, and they're looking at you, and they're like, hey, uncle, you look great, you look. Boss, if you do not take care of your tomorrow, today, because of your comfort, the market will not reward you. Very soon, those same kids are grown up, and they're asking, uncle, what happened? And now you're telling them Hekayas Abunwasi stories. You're telling them telltales. Telling them how you are raving in Nairobi. Why you knew Syndicate. You knew Volt. You knew all, what do you call them? Those clubs you go to. You knew all quivers, where they are. You are there taking Hennessy Visops. You fill the table, you dirtify it. Unachafua meza. You dirtify the table. My friend, the market does not reward comfort. Organizations die. Do you know what killed Kodak? You know Kodak?
Yeah.
Do you know what killed Nokia? Remember Nokia? Do you know what killed Nokia? Nokia thought nobody could come in and take their market because they were dominating. Remember when we started having mobile phones, everybody had like a 3310. I remember I was still young at that point. I didn't have one. My dad had one. I didn't have one. But I know that 310. Yep. They had the 310. They were there. Nokia. When the CEO of Nokia was asked, how did we get here? What happened? Do you know what he said? We did nothing wrong. Read that story of Nokia. We did nothing wrong. We simply refused to do what? To innovate. Then iPhone came, 2.0. Those guys crashed the market quickly. Look at Samsung, from selling vegetables. Samsung was selling horticulture. To today, you have a Samsung phone on your hand. Most likely, it is the most bought phone in the world. Your TV is likely a Samsung. Likely. Do not say it is. Your fridge is likely a Samsung. Your washing machine is likely a Samsung. From a vegetable vendor. Then there is Kodak, where you had to take photographs. Then they got be washed in Nairobi. Hello. Remember when you would take photos during Christmas? They would come during Easter. Because the tape has not yet filled. And the camera guy has to fill the tape. The tape has to fill up. Yeah. So then he has to travel to Nairobi from a village like mine called Kinangop. Those who know Nyandarua County, I come from Kinangop, a very cold place. That is why I can't wear a sweater. I am okay with this weather. You go from Kinangop, you take a Tulaga to Nairobi to wash. Quote, to wash photos. Some get burnt. You come looking white on one side. I think that is where we learned how to do what? To do makeup. I think that is where we got the idea that you can actually change your appearance through makeup. You can bleach. I think that is why we learned bleaching. Because you are black, but when the photo came, you are white. And you're like, wait a minute. I can bleach. I can become a better person when I bleach myself. Guys, those companies died from this comfort. You become too comfortable and you feel you're the market dominator. Your company believes we are the best. What do? They refuse to innovate. They refuse to move with speed. Those guys of us who have more maybe history will tell you that Airtel, why has it rebranded over 4 times? You remember when it came in Kenya, it was the fastest and the strongest. It was Kcell, was it? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think so. It was Kcell. It was better than Safaricom. Even the calling cards, they were rigid on the calling cards. Safaricom came and introduced per minute billing. They changed per second. They brought in a cut shift today. These guys have rebranded. I'm sorry if you work for them, but they have rebranded how many times? And they are still struggling. They sell us data literally free of charge, but they are still struggling. Why? Because of the enemy called average. Your marriage is failing because you are average. You don't do any effort. Bwana, peleka msichana out, take the lady out every week, buy her coffee, send random flowers. And for you ladies, boy, who told you we only wear socks? What's wrong with you? And the belts. So I have 10. I have 100 socks. I don't remember the last time I wore some of them. When I invest in a good suit, I love suit. Go to the shop, bring me a suit for 100,000. I will appreciate you. Allah, go bring me tires for my car, tied in a red ribbon. During my birthday. Take me to Sons of Charlie. Allah, hey, it's not only you every time. Me, I give. It becomes average. I'm like, Chatukai. What gets tolerated gets repeated. You set the standard, what do we expect? The response is what happens when it is missed, and then repeat. What do people learn from that? What you do repeatedly is your culture. It is not what you announce. If I came to your organization right now and tapata a very big board written our vision, our mission, our core values, our purpose, and all those other good words, and they are printed all over the walls. If I come to your offices, I'll see them. That is not your culture. Your culture is now how you implement those things on the wall. It is how you do it. It is what you do with it. It is how you do it. It is that repetitive execution of all that. Kill average without killing people. Have clarity, have growth, bring in a fair chance to improve. So what do? Define it. Define what excellence looks like. Define what is mediocrity. Announce it. Measure it. Use evidence, not impressions. This is where we go wrong. use evidence, use statistics. HR, if there is a course you must go do, is HR analytics. Go do HR analytics. If your CEO gives you a budget of 1 million to people for team building, you must show out of this 1 million, this is the return on the investment for your 1 million. They listen to you. If you tell them by then that, but CEO, the reason why people are a bit rigid and coming tired and they need a break. They
Martin,
need a break.
where have you reached people? I don't know how many minutes you have. We have gone like.
I'm finishing.
Okay, all right.
Give me 5 minutes. I am finishing this. So measure what needs to be done. Coach people, coach, address gaps early. Remove genuine barriers. Whatever needs to be an enabler of processes and people. Then of course, account, follow through consistently, and reward. Reward and recognize initiative and impact. You've introduced a new system, reward the persons who are adopting it faster. High standard plus high support equals high performance. Then of course, anti-average conversation, I'll send you this slide, set the expectation, the evidence, the cause, what got in the way, the ownership, who does what and when, and the date, when will we review. So you can have a performance metric that addresses, don't wait for annual appraisals to tell the truth, because I think that is another mistake we do. You wait for people during the appraisal, that is when you tell them, by the way, 3 months ago, you did this. Do you remember in January, you did this, and it is December? How does that impact performance for that person at the end of the year? So don't wait for annual appraisal to tell the truth. Tell the truth consistently. Then of course, where do we institutionalize the standard? Recruitment. Team, we are the people who own the people. Onboarding, performance management, measure outcomes, not activity, learning, build skills around real gaps, then rewards, recognize impact, initiative, and then of course succession. Give strong people bigger problems. As a HR, your work is not to make average comfortable. It is to make performance possible. You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. That is a fact. Your life will only be impacted and changed from what you do. From the book, Action Attacks Fear. Inaction reinforces it. So again, take action. Action, action, action. Execution. The conversation you keep postponing may be the conversation that protects your team's standard. Stop avoiding hard conversations, which I think you want to look good in the presence of people, but unfortunately, it ends up burning you. Then, of course, there is a 30-day challenge. Name it, measure it, raise the bar, coach it, review it. Ask the team in leadership, for example, what are we currently tolerating with our strategy that our strategy cannot afford? Question it, then fix one thing. Fix it. Where has good enough become good enough? Of course, lead my scripture. There is one scripture that leads me. Proverbs 22:29. Do you see a man who excels in his work? He will stand before kings. Do you want to stand before kings? Excel in what you do. Be excellent. Be the standard. Good enough is not good enough. Asanteni sana. That has been my time, and I sincerely appreciate all of you. Thank you, guys. Good, I'm done. Richard, sorry for the 11 minutes. I apologize. What I told Grace, I told her that 45 minutes is me saying hi. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Let us appreciate that man who was injected. I'm sure most of us have been injected, and if you have been injected with quinine, you can clap. You can clap even if you have been injected with a few things here and there. There's somebody who is asking, how long should you tolerate underperformers? Quickly, in one sentence, the people who are taking time to overcome average.
Definitely, I'm sure most organizations have different performance metrics, but personally, this is how I do it. I'll give you my way. I onboard you. There is the first probation. Measure attitude. See the attitude of a person. See commitment. Look for dedication. Look for those traits that are soft skills. That tells you whether this person actually deserves a renewal or not a renewal for the extension based on their performance. That is me. Look at the character of the person. Base it on the commitment, the buy-in even of the brand. So there is not generally a timeline that you can give. But for me, anything between 3 to 6 months give you a very good outcome of the kind of a person you have. You are able to rate that person efficiently in about 6 months.
Very good. Let me see another question. How can you handle a workplace whereby you want to come up with new ideas, but they keep on saying, this is how we do it here, this is how we do it here? I guess that is resistance to change.
Now, this is a very common problem. Am I unmuted? Yes. This is a very common problem where resistance to change is very prevalent in many organizations. One of the things I have told myself is stop fighting resistance with frustration. Create evidence. Start small. Demonstrate the value of that new idea. And then, of course, involve a small group of people to run it as an experiment and try it and see. Let the results challenge the mindset of these old guard gatekeepers. But the worst thing you can do is approach resistance from a perspective of frustration. Asante.
Thank you very much. What are your parting shots? What is it that you do not want your listeners to forget?
My friends, I'll tell it to you. Your tomorrow is based on the decisions you're going to make today. Where you are today is a total sum of all the activities you have done in your life. Where you are today is a reflection of how much you feel and value yourself. So are you happy with where you are? Are you happy with what you're doing? Are you happy with how you are doing it? If not, take action, execute ruthlessly. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get these slides, you've been promised, at least Martin has been generous that he will share the slides. So you can request them at some point so that you can go and revise. But more than that, you can go to the YouTube channel and also listen to these wonderful insights that have been given unto us tonight. We appreciate you, Martin, for those very wonderful points that you have given unto us. Probably we should invite you another time so that we can explore deep on how we should elevate our lives. I can see somebody who is asking about more products for investment and so on and so forth. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. Let us meet on Tuesday for another wonderful topic. Don't forget that Atara Solutions are trainers. They are outsourcing experts. They do change management, team building, and so on and so forth. Thank you so much. Good night.
Didn't know it before. Surprised when you cut me off guard. On this journey I bought. You was my shorty, I thought.
Yo, Maya, do my calc homework. I'm serious.